Good afternoon. I'm J. Lenore Bressler, and welcome to the April 26, 2019 edition of The Bible Delight in the Details, as we continue to live in the glorious aftermath of Holy Week and the resurrection. In the Gospels, we're told that on that Easter morning, when Peter and John raced to the tomb after being told by Mary that Jesus was alive, they found something rather curious. It's one of those details that a lot of people read right over, but I think there is deep significance to it. And that is that they found the grave clothes, the grave linens, folded neatly on the little stone bench. You see, the way that tombs were done in those days, it was cut into the rock. It was usually a cave, either a man-made cave or a cave that was already in the rock, and there would be made almost like a little bed, and the body would be laid on it wrapped in the shroud, and then it would be allowed to decay. And about 6 months or so later, the family would come, and the body would be now bones would be placed in an ossuary that was like a box, and that would be stored. And so tombs could be used over and over again. This was necessary because of the population and just the need to recycle, if you will, tombs. This may explain one of the reasons why some rich man, we think it might have been Joseph of Arimathea, allowed Jesus' body to be placed in his tomb. Because he was going to need it again, but it wasn't like a grave like we use today. He was going to ultimately, he would think, well, I'll be buried there. Jesus's bones will be removed at some point. But of course, Jesus' bones or body did not rot, and his bones were not put in a box. No, he was resurrected on Easter morning. And fascinatingly, he took the time to leave the grave clothes and to fold them neatly. Now, we know in the Bible that God is a God of order. So the fact that he would tidy up, so to speak, is kind of like him. But I think there's several other things here. First of all, we know that at the time, the Jewish leaders tried to pass off this idea that the apostles had stolen the body of Jesus. Well, when Jesus actually left the burial clothes neatly folded, that would have given a lie to that lie, because if you're going to steal a body, you are going to leave it in its winding wrappings. You're not going to take them off, fold them in the middle of, robbing a grave, and you're certainly not going to carry a naked man around. That just doesn't even make good sense. The other thing is, Jesus resurrected Lazarus. But when Lazarus came forth out of the grave, he was still in his winding sheet. And that's because, as wonderful as it was that Lazarus was resurrected, he would die again. But Jesus would not. And so he had no either literal or symbolic need for those grave clothes. They could be folded and put away, literally put away forever. What a glorious thought when we remember that Jesus' resurrection is simply a harbinger, a precursor of our own resurrections. And so those grave clothes are really not necessary for us in a metaphorical way at all, because we will not be staying in that grave. We will be, in fact, the truth is, we are never in that grave at all. Our spirits and what we are taken immediately up into the presence of the Lord. It's a glorious thing that even in the details, Jesus is making a point about the truth of the resurrection and our own. We need not concern ourselves with the accoutrements of death, for we shall not need them. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great weekend.